Ready, Dad?
Sure.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Miss Driven here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid Edition. Now, I know that the 2022 model is available, but I wanted to give you a review as a real Tesla owner, not somebody who's just taken possession of the vehicle for the first time ever. Now, we've had this car for a few months already, so I'm going to be giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's no holding back, so let's go. So from the outside, this car has a pretty unassuming family sedan sort of feel, which is kind of cool when you want to blend in a little bit, but still have the fastest car in town. This car does come standard with the 19-inch wheels, but we do have the 21-inchers on here. Another thing I want to mention is the door handles. I'll give it a second to realize I'm here with the key fob. But opening the handles, we've never had a problem. Opening these, we've also never had this car uncovered in the winter, but I could see that being a problem if you do let those get wet and freeze. So moving on, let's go to the front of the car. Instead of having your conventional engine here, we have what's called a front trunk. So if you take your key fob and you push on it, this is how you open the frunk. Okay, took a second there, but it just provides a little extra space, which is kind of fun. Another thing that Tesla advertises about this car is that you can fit a full-size bike in the back here without taking the front wheel off. All you have to do is essentially fold this up and remove it, and then fold these seats down with those buttons. I will tell you though, I tried it. I put my bike in here with the front tire forward and the front tire backwards, and we just couldn't get it to fit. Now we may have been able to cram it in, but doing that in a luxury car is not exactly ideal, so we didn't want to test it any further. So guys, I don't know if it excites you if a bike could fit in the back of this car without taking the front wheel off. In fact, being such a fast car, I'm sure most of you aren't even buying it for that reason. And now whether it is or isn't true if a bike could fit, what is true is that this is the fastest production car on the market. Now Tesla boasts that it goes from 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, and this car has even been clocked on a quarter-mile track at less than 9 seconds. So guys, it's definitely fast, and we will show you, but first let's take a look on the inside. So here is the interior, guys. It is super plush. It has a giant window out front. Now I have to tell you that I actually usually get car sick when I am the passenger in a car, but my first time riding in this car with Corey driving, we weren't driving fast or anything like that, but I wasn't actually getting nauseous, and it was really the first time that's ever happened to me in a car, so I wasn't sure if it had to do with these big windows or not, but it's just something I wanted to mention, because if it is the reason why I wasn't getting so sick, it's just something I want to point out. Now, another thing I want to point out is this steering wheel, guys. It is the yoke steering wheel. It's definitely really cool looking. Now, it's not just cool looking, it's super controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it. I gotta tell you, I don't particularly love it. I do kind of miss having the top half of the steering wheel, because when you're driving through town and you take a wide turn and then you want to loosen your hand and let the wheel go back by itself, you can't do that. So it can be a little disorienting until you get used to it. Whether you like it or whether you don't, the cool thing about it is that it's super futuristic looking, and it doesn't obstruct your view of the dashboard at all. Now, some other cool futuristic characteristics of this car is the panoramic sunroof. Now, this thing does not open, but it is cool being able to see outside, and it does add to the cool vibe of this car. Now, when you're driving it, it's virtually silent. When you're backing it up, however, it sounds like a spaceship. So overall, this is a cool, fun car, but some people might be sad that it doesn't sound like the powerful car that it is. As for the seats, guys, they are made out of vegan leather, which are super comfortable and plush, and the interior is fresh and minimalistic, which I love. The only thing that can be considered a downfall is that some things require extra steps to open or adjust, like adjusting the mirrors or the steering wheel or even the temperature controls. The seat adjusters are still easily accessible on the side, so that's definitely a good thing. If you haven't noticed already, this model has a giant 17-inch display, and to start driving, you just put your foot on the brake, and then you use this little slider to move. You go forward to drive, back to reverse, and then you push here to park. So as for all the gadgets and everything on this screen, Tesla has what they call their infotainment center. Now, as an avid Apple user, I do prefer to use Apple CarPlay just because it's a more streamlined experience going from my iPhone to my car and just being able to use controls that look similar instead of trying to figure out where everything is. Why Tesla doesn't use Apple, I don't know. It may or may not have to do with something that happened in 2015 when Apple apparently suggested that they were going to start working on a car, and instead of looking at his competitor and keeping a close eye on him, Elon decided to tweet that Apple is just a graveyard for ex-Tesla employees. So did he make him mad? I don't know. My whole point in that whole exchange is just letting you know that I prefer using Apple CarPlay, but as of now, it's not available. So here is where you control everything, guys. All of the technology is integrated into this screen, which is fantastic. It keeps everything clutter-free. So I'm going to go to the toy box. Here is their entertainment system. I'm going to start with the theater. The theater has Netflix, Disney, YouTube, all the fun things for kids to watch. The same thing is available in the back. We don't, however, use this unless we are on long car rides, but there is an arcade as well. Our kids love beach buggy racing. We even have this inside our home. The problem with it here in this car is that if you want to play it, well, actually, let me back up. You can play it up here with the steering wheel, which is super cool. Of course, you have to be parked, but to play in the back, you have to have the Tesla controller, which is sold separately. Of course, you can use the web browser, and then there's the toy box. Here you can play with the horn and make different sounds. I kind of like La Cucaracha. And my dad and I were also playing with the fart noise. Other than that, you can have different driving sounds. You can make it sound like the ice cream truck. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to go through them. But summoning, guys, summoning. You can summon your car to pick you up. We may or may not do a video on this. However, basically, when you summon your car, you can have your car parked, and then let's say you're at a restaurant or something like that, and you want to have your car pick you up. You can summon it from the push of a button. It'll drive itself without anyone in it, and it'll come pick you up. I'm a little worried to use that in public around a lot of people. Just in my opinion, kind of seems like a liability. You are able to stop it if needed, but we haven't, I haven't done it yet, but maybe I will do a video for you guys. But going back to the control panel here, let's see what else we can look at. So moving on, let's talk about the hidden vents. There's actually hidden AC and heat up in here. It adds to the sleekness of the car. Now if you want to change the temperature, you just click on this here, and now this right here, it'll show you where it's coming out of. Now you can adjust going up or going down like this. You can make it wider or more direct, but that's basically how you adjust that. What else do we got? We have dog mode. Dog mode activates when you leave the car, and it keeps it climate controlled. And then camp. Camping will basically keep it at the same temperature until you reach 20 degrees. So if you're gonna be sleeping in your car, that will work there. So let me tell you guys about Sentry Mode. If there is a significant threat detected, your car will automatically start recording on all of the cameras around the car, and it'll even send you an alert on your phone. Now, the other cool thing is that from your app, you're able to talk to people through the boombox speaker, so you can tell them to get away from your car, and then you can even beep the horn to get them out of there. Okay, so I know I told you guys I would not be going through all of these options here. I will just kind of show you that there are different modes you can drive in. Chill, of course, is if you want to drive chill. You're going to be getting a smoother ride. The fallback, of course, is that you're not going to be accelerating as quickly. Now, drag strip mode. Drag strip mode is cool because essentially what you do is you put your foot on the brake and the accelerator at the same time, and then you let it warm up, and then as soon as you take your foot off of the accelerator, you go. Now, this car is advertised as being able to hit 200 miles per hour. However, right now it's not available to the average customer, and it's currently governed at 163 miles per hour. Now, apparently we just need to wait for a software upgrade from Tesla to be able to hit those top speeds. The problem, however, is that to do so, they require $20,000 special brakes, which in my opinion is a pretty hefty upgrade considering that this car already starts at about $130,000. Okay, so here we have 2 inductive phone chargers, and while we're talking about phone chargers, I want to talk about battery life. This car has a 396-mile range on a full charge, and on a supercharger, it takes about an hour to go from basically empty to 100%, or only 30 minutes to reach 78% charge. Now, if you've got a Tesla wall connector at home, it'll fully charge your battery in about 6 to 9 hours. On that note, guys, it's been said that electric vehicles can lose up to 40% of their range in the cold weather when you have the heat on full blast. And while Tesla has given the Model S a new heat pump, which provides a 30% increase in cold weather range, and it requires 50% less energy to heat the inside of the car, I still have a hard time justifying the use of an electric vehicle, even this one, in the winter on a long trip based off of a recent experience we had. So a couple months ago, we took a 4-hour trip to the Minneapolis airport, and between having the heat on and charging Corey's phone for his work and having the TV on for the kids in the back, it didn't take us too many stops to realize that these everyday luxuries that we were used to was just draining the battery life. And so this 4-hour trip actually turned into more like a 5.5-hour trip. And to make matters worse, not only was our 4-hour trip extended, but when we got back, we couldn't even turn our display on. Everything was completely black. The only thing that worked were these couple buttons down here, which are super faint. They did turn up pretty bright when everything else failed. But fortunately, we were only 10 minutes from the nearest Tesla dealership. And I say fortunately because that Tesla dealership, being 4 hours away from our house, is actually the closest dealership in general to our house. So we brought it there. They had to change a microchip or something. But in the end, it ended up taking us 7 hours to get home, which was pretty obnoxious for us because we had just returned from an international flight with our 2 kids in tow, our 2 small kids, and we were getting cranky. We just wanted to get home, and all in all, we ended up leaving with a Tesla loaner just because it was easier, and the reason it was easier is because we were going back the next week to the airport, and we didn't want to wait any longer. So realistically, it was still a pain in the ass. Our 4-hour trip, which would have turned into a 5.5-hour trip with an electric vehicle, ended up taking us 7 hours. So yeah, let's move on to autopilot. Now, some people are a little worried about the whole autopilot feature in general, but I'm going to tell you the one time that I absolutely love to use it, and it's typically when I'm eating. Now, I don't make a habit of eating while I'm driving, but let's say we're driving across the country. I'm doing all the driving because I get motion sickness, but we just stopped. We didn't want to waste a lot of time eating, so we got the food to go, and now I've got a bowl of food to eat. Well, what am I going to do when I'm driving? I'm not going to have Corey feed me, so I can put put the car in autopilot, which is amazing because I can use 2 hands and still be safe. Now, I gotta tell you, when you're driving down the road, it'll show you on your dash your car in between the lines, and it'll tell you, you can see if you're kind of swerving. But not only that, the Tesla can tell what the vehicles next to you are like. It knows if it's a car, a van, a truck, even a semi, and it'll show an outline of that car next to yours as well, which is just super cool. But besides all of that, the Tesla on its autopilot, if you want to change lanes, you just have to click your signal to turn, and it will turn on its own. It'll change lanes once it knows it's safe. Now, not all cars with autopilot can do that. And another thing that it can do is that it can drive on lower speed roads. So some cars, again, they can only drive on major highways going 65 or higher. This car, you're not supposed to be using it on city streets, but the point is that it'll work on city streets if needed, but more importantly, it'll work on those 45-mile-an-hour roads that other cars with autopilot can't typically do. So just to recap, guys, this is the 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid edition. This thing is absolutely minimalistic and beautiful on the interior. The seats are plush and comfortable. The autopilot is top-notch, and it's the fastest production car on the market. But when you consider the fact the battery life just isn't as advertised, and you have to add an additional 25% time for traveling, it probably isn't a great choice. But if you guys are looking for something fun, something fast, a second drive, or a daily commuter, this is definitely a great idea if you live close to a Tesla dealership. But you guys, enough with the details. It's cold as shit out here. Let's get ready for the fun stuff. Let's get ready for the launches. All right, we got a clear road, baby. Are you ready, honey?
I'm always ready.
Okay. Sure?
Yep.
Ready for warp speed?
Jesus Christ.
You should have seen. Oh, your foot went up in the air, baby. I could see it from the side of my eye. Oh, that was awesome. I make Corey nervous when I drive. Can any of you guys relate? Unfortunately, we cannot go on drag strip mode because it actually told us that it would take over 50 minutes to heat up properly.
It's the middle of winter. It's 20 degrees outside. So I don't think you're going to be racing anybody in drag strip mode in the middle of winter.
Now it's my turn to be the passenger again, and I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Corey's up next. Oh boy. Okay. So buckle up. Lord help us. Lord help us. Oh my God. Whoo, 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 baby. Oh God. Slow down. Okay, so just to show you guys, we have been flooring it multiple times and it still has not warmed up, and I'll show you. A while ago it was at 50 minutes and now we're still at 31 minutes to peak performance for drag strip mode. So guys, winter conditions, obviously not great for racing. Okay, just get the...
You ready?
No, you got it, Dad. Stop. Dad, stop, Dad. You gotta get the snow off the tires first, Dad. Keep going. Keep going. No, Dad, there's this car behind you, Dad. Oh my God. Okay, hold the steering wheel tight when you go. You can't.
Are you ready?
Yes, Dad. Jeez. Okay, Dad. Okay. One more. Car behind you. Dad, okay. Dad. Oh my goodness.
I want to see if it did a.
There you have it, guys. That is a 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid edition. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave some comments below and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.